just for that purpose. So I'm hopeful that after today there will be a bunch of candidates involved. Mr. Smith?
Up back after this, I need to see Sawyer and Jazz.
Morning, guys. So just a quick word now that the football season is officially over. A quick word to the team and for everybody here. A lot of people were probably around at the end of the McDonough game when the two teams gathered at midfield and we had the trophy presentation. At that point, I said a lot of really nice things, deservedly nice things about Mr. Holly, and handed him the trophy. And then he got swarmed by the whole team, and I never got to say anything about anybody else. And so I thought I'd take a second to do that here. And first of all, congratulations to the players and to the coaches who were in the room. There are a lot of you have been very involved in the season over the course of many months at this point. And what's been really cool from my perspective to watch over the course of the season, this is what I would have said to you after the McDonough game, even much less after beating Calvert Hall and putting up a strong fight against St. Francis yesterday. What's been cool to watch over the course of the season is the team get better and better, and I think it's the product of two things. One, the players buying into the coaches, right, and what the coaches were teaching and putting in place for you to be your best selves as a team. And two, it was also very clear that you were buying into each other and supporting each other as teammates. And you could see that even walking by practice. You could see it in the way you were interacting with each other and the way you were interacting with your coaches. And it was really cool to watch that. So I would have said that at the end of the McDonough game, but you all swarmed Coach Holly and didn't let me get to finish, which was fine because he deserved that praise. Thanks. But there are, a lot of other people, all the other coaches, like I said, many of whom are in this room right now who deserve that credit, and the players you also deserve credit for too. So congratulations on a fantastic. And then second, thanks for demoting me and not letting me be up on the team up there. I appreciate it.
And thanks for everybody that came out to that game yesterday. We put up a good fight the whole game, especially in the first half. But thanks for coming out. We really did appreciate it. Any other faculty announcements? All right, students.
On Saturday, Class 6 Club went to Eleanor Roosevelt High School as character boys, but we came back as character men. And as a token of our victories of first and second place in the advanced category, I'd like to present this John Cena figurine and a Maleficent figurine. We'll be getting actual trophies, but those are placeholders for now.
Any other announcements? Oh, yeah. Eric.
As Drew ends the Gilman Fall 4 season as top 7 cross-country runners going to the Foot Locker Regional Championships in New York City this Saturday. So, show some support for the team.
Anything else? All right, turn it over to me.
Hey, do you want to explain the point system? So yes, all questions will be minus half a point if they get it wrong, plus 1 point if they get it right, except for the final question. I'll explain that when we get there. All right, let the games begin. Identify this newspaper editor from Omaha who took the 1896 Democratic National Convention by storm. Indeed. Maud, would you applause just so we can get through more questions? I know you're all very excited. What was Gilman's original name? Yep. Name the capital of Northern Ireland. Yes, correct. What lawyer for the soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre signed the Alien and Sedition Acts and was the first vice president?
John Adams.
Yes, correct. Which Spanish tennis player recently won a 10th? Correct. Stop reading the questions. Jeff Bezos is CEO of what Seattle? Yes, correct. Which Gilman Sr. has more bark than bite?
James Piper Bond.
Indeed, Ayush. Name this presidential election the first with televised debates in which Richard Nixon was defeated. Yes, correct. Akbar, Babur, and Aurangzeb were rulers of what great Indian?
Mughal Empire.
Yep, correct. The people of which European nation are often stereotyped as either thieving gypsies or vampires?
Romania.
Correct. Very much so correct. Integrals and derivatives are both defined using what mathematical concept? Correct? Which unit of length used correctly in Star Trek but incorrectly in Star Wars?
Parsec.
Correct. According to Star Trek, Captain Picard still wrestled with this theorem in the 24th century, but in the real world, it was solved in 1995 by Princeton math professor and... Correct. Who was the only member of Congress to vote against American entry into World War II and the first woman to serve in Congress? She also voted against World War I. Jeanette Rankin of Nebraska. Which university was the origin of the 1964 to 65 free speech movement? Correct. Ironic, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, score after 15 questions?
It is 5-9. Students are winning.
Who won the first Super Bowl?
Green Bay Packers.
Correct. On the 10th of November, 1444, during the Crusade of Varna, you should have waited for me to read the whole question. Vladislav III was killed fighting the Ottomans, leading to a personal union between which two nations? Poland and Lithuania. Name this nation whose leaders have included Muhammad Zia al-Haq, Nawaz Sharif, Benazir Bhutto, and Muhammad. Yeah, correct. Who is the only Gilman history teacher with an office on the 3rd floor? Correct. Mamluk forces lost to this man at the Battle of the Pyramids. Correct. Euler famously used the 7 bridges of Königsberg, Prussia, as the basis for the first theorem of what field? Sorry, what did he? That's not the answer I have. I don't really know about math, but yeah. No, don't give them that.
I'm not going to take anything off either.
Which nation is made up of 7,641 islands, including Samar?
Indonesia.
Nope, the Philippines. What 9-year-long global conflict was variously known as underclassmen? No offense, but it's true. What 9-year-long global conflict was variously known as the War of the Conquest, the Pomeranian War, the Third Silesian War, the Third Carnatic War, and the French and Indian War?
7-year war.
Correct. What novel, whose preface is set in the Salem Customs House, features Roger Chillingworth and his wife Hester?
Scarlet Letter.
Correct. What large river, namesake of a country, flows both north and south of the equator? Correct. Which secularizing reformist abolished the caliphate, officially changed Constantinople's name to Istanbul? Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. In a web address, what does HTTP stand for? Correct? Who was the only British Prime Minister of Jewish descent? Correct. Name this detective who lived at 221B Baker. Correct. This founding father was born on the island of Nevis and died during a duel in New Jersey. Yep, totally Chris Christie's fault. Name the leader under whom the Israelites marched around Jericho, then shouted, Joshua, Deus Vult Infidel. The first player chosen in the 1984 NBA draft was this Nigerian-born center. Correct? This man reused his Sanctus in D major for 6 voices in his Mass in B minor. Correct. Yeah. 10,024 gigabytes is equal to 1 what? Correct. This president befriended Tom Prendergast, a Jewish man who had profound impact on his later policy towards Israel, and served in an artillery company, the president, not Prendergast, that served in an artillery company that supported George Patton's brigade in World War I. Name this man who also served as a senator from Missouri before becoming president in Truman. Correct. What character of the famed British television show uses the sonic screwdriver? Correct. Which author wrote Turtles All the Way Down and hosts SciShow and Crash Course on YouTube?
John Green.
Correct. I'm keeping track of time. Identify this Canadian territory whose capital is Iqaluit. Correct. Identify this philosopher who in the 4th point of his discourse on method Correct. What was the first planet to be discovered by telescope? Nope. Uranus. You guys. John Kerry commanded a swift boat on which major Vietnamese river? Actually, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but there's only one major river in Vietnam. I'm gonna skip, don't count that question. It was kind of badly written by an underclassman. Not my fault. What self-similar shapes were studied by Benoit Mandelbrot? Correct. What character uses Hectate's rifle to shoot a rabid dog? Defends. Correct. I'll switch to the final in like 2 minutes. Identify this effect, the explanation of which won Albert Einstein the Nobel Prize. Correct. Name this city that recently jailed activists such as Joshua Wong and is governed under the doctrine of one China, two systems. We'll be wrapping up soon. Correct. Okay, I'll give one more question and then the final. Last pre-final question. Japanese officer Fujiwara Iwachi worked with this leader of the Indian independence movement to create the pro-Axis Indian National Army. Correct. Score before the final question.
The current score is 23.5 students to 12 teachers.
Way to take the drama out of the final question. Final question. The United States has purchased land from 4 different non-Native American foreign nations. Name all of them. You can take extra time on this if you need it. For 5 points.
Time's up. What's the answer?
Mexico, Denmark, Russia, and France, so you could have technically accepted Spain. Students are the winners. Looks like somebody's out of their job.
First of all, thank you, gentlemen. I think the faculty definitely got a hat on this one. Yeah, I think there was some shenanigans going on there. Center.
The Virgin Islands.
The Romania question.
Indeed.
I love how you like
They will. Thank you, Dr. Kelly.
just like force Stefan to answer.